What's up, Clashers? Turn 56 here with another What Went Wrong episode, and this is from iKonik War 140. We're going to look at this attack here by Erza and see if we can't figure out a couple of little ways this attack could have been improved so it had got 3 stars, and which it did not. Now, when I do these videos, it is definitely not ever my intention to pick on anybody. I don't want Erza to feel bad about this attack. It was a decent attack, it just wasn't quite there, so we're just looking at ways of fine-tuning attacks. So, as always with these videos, first we'll just watch it straight through. I won't talk about anything. I'll let you guys come to your own conclusions about what could have been done a little bit differently on this attack, and then we'll watch it again. I'll talk about what I think it could have been done, and then feel free to add in the comments section what you think your ideas were, and it'd be interesting for me and hopefully for you guys to compare notes and see if we can't get a little bit better at being critical thinkers and breaking down attacks. There's a lot to be learned from failed attacks. All right. All right, so 90% 2-star, not a bad attack, but a couple things that could have been done differently, I believe. First, I'd like to look at what went right. The Clan Castle lure and kill was nice, and I love that he hung on to a couple of wizards in the back end for a late deployment, a little cleanup. The thing that I would pinpoint the most, I think, is tweaking of the strategy. He brings a gowiwiho. I guess there's no witches, so just a gowiwiho. With a base like this, though, well, with any base, I suppose, when you're sending in a golem-based kill squad with all of those wizards and a jump spell, there's got to be a good reason to get inside. And And I'm not sure there was a good reason to get inside the core on this base. The Archer Queen is naked. She's outside those walls, so she should be very easily killed. You don't even need one golem, in my opinion, to take her out. Maybe a giant or two to distract, and then just a Suicide King, and she's done. So that's one thing there. Imagine what he could do with the 60 extra troop space that he used for those 2 golems. He could bring 12 more hogs, whatever else he wants, and then also an extra heal spell. One of the reasons he ran out of time, the biggest reason, is because he ran out of hogs. And that's because he only had the 3 heal spells to cover this base, and it's a relatively spread out base. Here's the second thing right here, that exterior giant bomb right off the bat. He did not want to have to use that first heal spell right away, but he had to, because that first giant bomb outside the wall in the west corner there took almost all of his hogs down to next to nothing on the health. That second heal spell there, not very efficient, didn't cover a lot of them. I think he was trying to be predictive about where they would go instead of waiting to see where they would go and then dropping it. But to a certain extent, at this point, the raid is kind of over because the hogs just split up into like 3 or 4 groups that were too small. Couldn't get an efficient use out of those last couple of heals. When you have a base like this, there's no room inside the walls anywhere for Teslas, for giant bombs. You know those are all outside. So especially with the giant bombs, it's vital if you're going to be deploying your hogs and you know there's giant bombs outside the walls, you have to make sure you're deploying them from an area where you know there's not a giant bomb, and that means where troops of yours have already pathed. So if he had deployed them from the southwest, for example, where he had already sent in his golems, his heroes, that giant bomb that's down there was already triggered, he would have been safe. He would not have had any giant bombs to worry about until the end with the cleanup. So that's another thing that could have been done differently, is just the angle of deployment on the hogs. That would have bought him a lot of extra time to hang on to that first heal spell. Maybe at that point, they've progressed, a quarter of the way through the defenses, and then those 3 heal spells are enough. So those were what I took away from this attack, the 2 things that could have been done differently. And then I had kind of a crazy thought towards the end there too, that Barb King was a little bit of a nuisance towards the end. How about just going crazy and dropping at the very beginning, if he doesn't have to bring both of those golems, like 2 giants to distract it, and then a couple of wizards right on top of it to take it out. It's also naked outside those walls. Not a lot of defenses there protecting it. A level 9 Barb King, not too devastating, but at the end there, where he was able to pick off those hogs one at a time, you might be able to do a little something fun like that. That's just kind of outside the box thinking. So that's what I came up with that video, guys. Once again, not trying to pick on Erza, not a bad attack, just needed to be tweaked a little bit in order to get that 3rd star. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section, whether you agree with me or disagree with me. Again, thanks for watching very much, you guys. Until next time, this is Turn 56 saying keep on clashing.